Hey everybody, Charlie Weiser from EasyPiano.com. So in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about chord voicings. All right. Now, what exactly is a chord voicing and why is it important? Let me just play you an example of a few chord voicings. Okay, what I did was I just played a bunch of chords at random and I used chord voicings to make them sound better. So the main reason we use chord voicings is to give us a really desirable sound. Okay, quite simply put, all a chord voicing is where we rearrange the notes of the chord in order to change the sound. What I mean by that, let's take the key of C. Right? You number those tones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I play a C major 7th chord, for instance, in root position, I have the root or the 1, 3, 5, and 7, all stacked on top of each other. So let me play the chord and listen to it. Okay, when I play it like that, it's not a very interesting sound. So what I want to do is let me go ahead and rearrange these notes. Okay, so instead of having the 1, 3, 5, and 7, I think what I'll actually do now is I'll take the 1 and I'm going to go 1, 2 C's lower than middle C. I'm going to play the root and I'll put the 5 down here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go lower than middle C and play the 3rd and the 7th. So I'll play it all together. All right. Same chord, but you see this way sounds a lot nicer. So once again, in root position, it sounds like this. Okay. One of the chord voicings that we're going to use, and I'm going to teach you today, sounds like this. All right, so a big difference. So all we're doing when we're playing a chord voicing is we are rearranging the notes in order to change the sound. All right. So that's an easy definition for a chord voicing. So anyway, on that note, let's go ahead and let's dive right in. So what I want to do is I want to cover the key of C, because the key of C is, when you're starting off, it's your easiest key, all right, for most folks. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn 2 chord voicings today. I'm going to teach you the 1, 7, 3, 5 voicing. And the second voicing I'm going to show you is the one that I just played, the 1, 5, 3, 7. Okay, so 1, 7, 3, 5, I call 1735. The other one, 1, 5, 3, 7, I call 1537. All right, so anyway, let's go through our 5 chord qualities for 7th chords. All right, so let me just do it in root position first so you can see what's going on. So the first one we played was a C major 7th, right? So now if I flat that 7, that gives me what's called a C dominant 7th chord. All right. So the C dominant 7th chord, if we look at our intervals, which are just the notes as they relate to the scale, we have the root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7th, otherwise called the minor 7th. Okay, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. That's my C dominant 7th chord. The next chord we're going to play is a C minor 7th chord. So all I do for the C minor 7th is I take the root, flat the 3 this time, because remember the regular 3 is here. I flat the 3, I have the 5th, and I still have that flat 7 on top. Okay, so that's my C minor 7th chord. Next chord we have is a C minor 7th flat 5. So I still have the root, the flat 3 here. Now this time I'm going to take the 5 and we're going to flat that. All right, then I have the flat 7 on top. And then the last chord is the C diminished 7th. All right. All right, so our intervals, root, flat 3, flat 5. You might be thinking 6th. It is the same note as the 6th, but technically, since it's a diminished chord, they call it a double flatted 7th. All right, so what that means is the regular 7th is here, We flat it once, it's there. Flat it twice, we are there. All right, so the intervals for a diminished seventh are the root, flat 3, flat 5, double flat it 7. But if it's easier for you to remember, you can think of it as a sixth if you want. All right, so right now we're trying to play things that are easy for us to remember. All right, that way it makes life a lot easier, right? Okay, so anyway, now let's take those 5 chords and let's apply them using the chord voicings. All right, first voicing we'll use is 17-35. So your left hand's going to be playing the root, 7th, right hand's going to be playing 3 and 5. All right, so that's our C major 7th chord here, because we have the root, we got the regular 7th, we have the 3rd, we have the 5th. So now if I want to play a C dominant 7th chord, I have to flat the 7th. Root, flat 7, 3, 5. If I want to play a C minor 7th chord, I have to flat the 3 and the 7. So the root, flat 7, flat 3, 5. That's my C minor 7th chord. Now if I want to play a C minor 7th with a flat 5, I have the root, flat 7, flat 3rd, and I flat the 5. By the way, another name for this chord here is also called a half diminished 7th. So the C minor 7 flat 5 and the C half diminished 7th are the same chord, right? If I want to play a full diminished 7th, remember I have to double flat the 7. So that means I got to flat that 7 again. All right, so the difference between the C half diminished 7th, or the C minor 7 flat 5, and the C full diminished 7th is that the 7th is flatted twice off of the major scale. All right, so this is regular 7, flat once, flat twice. All right, so let me just play those 5 chords for you again. So the C major 7th, C dominant 7th, C minor 7th, C minor 7 flat 5, or C half diminished 7th, and the C full diminished 7th. All right, so those are your 5 chords for the key of C using the 1-7-3-5 voicing. Now let's go ahead and use the other voicing, 15-37. So left hand's going to play 1 and 5. Right hand's going to play 3, 7. All right, so again, completely different sound than this. This one to me sounds a lot more soothing, a lot more relaxing. All right, so C major 7th because we got the root, 5th, 3rd, 7th. Now if I want to play a C dominant 7th, you remember I have to flat the 7th, right? So 1, 5, 3, flat 7. If I want to play a C minor 7th, I have to flat the 3rd and the 7th. So we got 1, 5, flat the 3 this time, and then we also have the flat 7th. Okay, so that's my C minor 7th chord. Now if I want to play a C minor 7th flat 5, this one is a little different because if you look at your left hand, the 5th is going to be flatted down there. So we got 1, flat 5, right? Flat 3, flat 7. So that's my C half diminished 7th, or C minor 7 flat 5 chord. Now let's make it a full diminished. So now we got the root, flat 5, flat 3, and we got to double flat the 7th, so we got to bring it down one more half step right there. So that's my C full diminished 7th chord. All right, so let me play all 5 of those chords using the 15-37 voicing. So the C major 7th, C dominant 7th, C minor 7th, C minor 7th flat 5, and then our last one is the C diminished 7th, or the C full diminished 7th. All right. So those are our chords in the key of C. And again, the reason we're going to be playing voicings is because each voicing we play gives us a different sound. So, over the years that you'll be playing, you'll start to develop favorite sounds. And those come from the voicings that you will be playing. All right. So real quick, let me just show you the difference between the C major 7th chord. C major 7th, that's in root position, right? Versus the 1735. Versus the 1537. All right, so 3 completely different sounds. Anyway, we covered this in the key of C. Now, there are 12 keys total that you have to know how to play these chord voicings in, right? So I do have a book that I put together, and you'll see a little picture of it on the screen here. And it is available. If you click on the link in the description, you'll be able to access the book. Now, the book is great because I go through all 12 keys for not only these 5 chord qualities, but I actually also add in some altered dominant 7th chords. What do I mean by that? If I take a C dominant 7th chord, and let's say I want you to play a C dominant 7th chord with a sharp 5, it'll be right there. Right? Once you know those numbers, it makes playing those other chords a lot easier. Or if I say play a C dominant 7th with a flat 5, it'll be right there. Okay, and these chords, these altered chords, are important when you're playing chord progressions, and you'll have a lot of chord progressions that you'll be learning how to play, over your musical lifetime, so to say. But anyway, in the book, I do go through all 12 keys, with the 1735 voicing, the one that I just played, and the 1537, the other one that you learned. Plus, I teach you 2 other professional chord voicings that we did not go through here in the lesson. All right? So you get all of that at a price that will not break the bank. So anyway, you can find more about that book in the description below, and just click on the link if you're interested in that. So anyway, in the next chord voicing lesson, I'm going to be discussing 9th chords and 11th chord. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up shortly. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. And as I always say, have fun and enjoy. Take care.